I'm May, and this is May's Crochets. I'm a beginner crocheter sharing my learning to crochet journey, and today I wanted to share this star pillow that I crocheted. Take a look. I love this so much. It's kind of double-sided. Yeah, I got this from the Premier Yarns website. It's a free pattern called Bright Shining Star. I love Premier Yarns so much, and I had been looking through the patterns that they had for free on their website, and this one caught my eye a little while back. It's actually meant to be made with Parfait Plush yarn. But in the end, I made it actually with Parfait Chunky yarn. I know a lot of people love Parfait Chunky. I've never used Parfait Plush, so I'm going to have to try it out and report back. Parfait Plush is bigger, I guess, than Parfait Chunky, should result in probably a slightly larger pillow. At the time when I was planning to make this, they actually just didn't have the right shades of Parfait Plush available, but they did have the right shades of Parfait Chunky, so I figured I would give it a shot, even if it ended up with a slightly smaller pillow. Honestly, though, I'm pretty fine with this. I still love it so much. Maybe I'll try it again with Parfait Plush. The colors of Parfait Chunky don't exactly match, so I had to do a little bit of adjustment for the exact shades of yellow and blue, but really it was quite close. And I'm very happy with how it came out. I actually did a mystery box from Premier, or I guess they actually call it a surprise box on the Premier site, a little while ago. I have a video on my channel where I do the unboxing of that surprise box from Premier because I really wasn't sure what to expect. I had actually already bought the yarns that I was going to use, the Parfait Chunky, for this star pillow, and in that surprise box I got another skein of this exact shade of yellow. It's called Summer Squash. And I knew it was just definitely meant to be that I should go ahead and make this star. I actually had a really good experience with the surprise box. Side note, I got a bunch of skeins of yarn that I really love and plan to use. So I will link my video here if you want to take a look at that unboxing video. It was super fun. But anyway, back to the star. This was really fun. I've done, a lot of amigurumi. I've done a lot of Woobles Learn to Crochet kits. But I've never done a pillow. I've done some crocheting, sort of flat things, but really not a lot. And so this was definitely an interesting challenge for me, and I want to talk through it all today. So the construction basically is you make the star, and then you do a few rounds down kind of to the middle, and then you do the exact same thing on the flip side. So you start with the star. You can see there's a magic circle there. You basically do a whole circle, and then you do this interesting technique to make the star points. And then you do these rounds kind of again all the way up. So you end up with two halves that are the flat star panel, and then a few rounds going down or up, and then you sew it all together in the middle. So you end up with this sort of seam. So it was a really interesting experience for me. I wasn't quite sure how it was gonna come out, but it came out great, I think. So overall, I would say this was a really fun pattern to make. It was plenty beginner friendly, but also just enough challenging for me that I learned a ton. So you start off with just a circle. And so you start with the basics that you already know. You do a magic ring, and then you just do some increasing all the way around until you have a full circle. I should note I will link this pattern in the description box below if you want to take a look and follow along at all. But you do the circle, and then you work on the star points. And so I think it's every 12 stitches, they actually have you put a stitch marker every 12 in the last round, so you know where your stitch points are going to be, your star points are going to be. And then you do this fun thing where you basically crochet straight, chain and turn, straight back, chain and turn, straight back, chain and turn, straight back, all the way up, and you're skipping actually the first and last stitch kind of every time, so that it ends up getting a little bit thinner as you go. So yeah, I haven't done a ton of this. I've made a couple scarves for little amigurumi guys, so I haven't done a lot of regular big person scarves or blankets or other things where you're doing a lot of back and forth. But I have a little bit of experience with sort of the go across chain and turn. And so this was a fun practice for me with that, doing the skipping, watching it do the decrease. I've never made anything like a star before, so that was fun. I wasn't sure exactly how it was gonna like get constructed, so it was cool to kind of see that come together. So you do that all the way up to the point, and then you do sort of just stitching all the way down to get back here. So it's like a little bit arbitrary. You're just kind of making your way down to kind of get back to the middle. So you do it around 5 times. And then, yeah, you're doing some color changing as you go to do these sort of accent rounds. And you do like some rounds of single crochet with these different colors. One of these is a round of half double crochet, I guess just to make it like a little bit bigger. And then also one of them is a round of, you can sort of see it here, it's a round of back loop only, but with the plush yarn, it's like, it was really hard to do the back loop only. I feel like back loop when you're using like a much more distinct yarn, like cotton yarn or worsted weight, non-plush yarn, it's like really easy to see sort of the front loop and the back loop. But with the Parfait Chunky, it was a little bit of a challenge. And I'm honestly not sure that it was worth it because you can barely even see. I guess it's supposed to add that little bit of like texture, and you can almost see a line kind of in there a little bit and up there, but it's like barely noticeable. So if I were to do this again, I might skip the back loop only part. I'm not super sure. And the half double crochet, I guess it's just like a slightly larger stitch, but kind of not a huge difference perhaps. I really wasn't sure as I was making it. Like it was very much a flat panel. Like we had the star that was pretty flat, and then these other rounds also were pretty flat. Like they were still mostly just the same number. So you think that it would kind of start to go down, and I guess it did a little bit, but I really wasn't sure like when I put it all together how it would come out, and if it would end up much more like a kind of like a pancake or a dumpling as opposed to a more like structured star. But as you can see, in the end it did come out like a more structured star. It just didn't feel like that as I was going. So yeah, it was really fun. Like you do sort of the one half, and then you have a second chance to do the entire thing again, using this sort of the opposite colors, which was kind of fun. About like the you know, dark yellow to the little light yellow accent, and then the reverse on the opposite, and the blues. I'm not sure that I love this ordering of the blues, but I went with as close as I could to what it was asking for on the pattern with the Parfait Plush yarn colors. But yeah, I just love the yellows and the blues, so I'm happy with how it came out. The most awkward parts, I will say for me, I mentioned the back loop only already. There's also a round where you have to go all the way down, like up and down the star points, and just basically stitch 12 stitches up, do some things at the top, and then 12 stitches down, but you're not stitching directly into actual stitches. It's just like you've got the chain and turn, and you need to make your way back down through it, and you end up with a really nice sort of seam once you do that single crochet all the way down. But because you're not going into actual stitches, you kind of have to eyeball it. And so I had a little bit of a maybe trouble with that, just figuring out how to really evenly disperse my 12 stitches. And I'm like, I don't know what the word is. Like I'm a rule follower, perfectionist. And part of why I like crochet is like most of the time it is so precise what you're doing that it's like, you know exactly what stitch you're going into. And there's no question about like, where should I put this? So something like that, where you have to just go 12 stitches down, but you're not going into specific stitches and you have to kind of eyeball it, was a challenge for me. But in the end, like, especially with the plush yarn, it is so, so forgiving. And so it, you know, in the end, it didn't matter a ton if I like had them perfectly spaced out, and if I even had the right number and all of that. Like it was really fine. So, but that was just one thing that I noticed for myself that I just like didn't love the experience of because it wasn't sort of as precise. The other thing was when I actually went at the end, so you end up with the two halves that you then sew together with this seam. You single crochet all the way around. I had trouble like lining them up again with the 12 stitches having gone up and down. Like in theory, they should all line up. But I had some trouble with that. So again, I'm not sure that it's 100% precise. You can sort of see like it's a little bit messy in a few spots. And I feel like it's sort of like I went like extra on one side and then less later, and so it ended up maybe a little bit like jagged or something. But yeah, with the way this yarn is, it's very forgiving, and I still think it came out great. The seam's a little funny, it kind of sticks out like that, But that's kind of part of the look. And like I said, in the end, it really did get its structure like really down. I wasn't sure if it was going to, but once I started stuffing it, it really emphasizes that you get the stuffing into the points of the star, which makes sense to really have it hold its shape. Also, this used a ton of stuffing. Kind of makes sense. It's even though it's like kind of a small pillow, it's like you need it to be pretty firm to get it to hold its shape. And I just kept stuffing and kept stuffing, and there was always room for more. I probably could have kept going even more. I never know like how much stuffing should I do, but I did a lot, and I'm gonna need to buy some more polyfill since I worked through like a big chunk of this big bag of polyfill that I have from Amazon. I probably could have gone even more. There's always a concern with overstuffing of like stretching your stitches out. And like you can maybe see a little bit here. But the good thing again about the plush yarn is it really fills in the gaps really well. I did also use yarn under for this. I've gone back and forth a lot in my crocheting, experimenting with yarn over and yarn under. And for things like the woobles, doing yarn under makes a big difference in making sure that there's not as big sort of holes that you can see the stuffing through. The way their yarn is actually like even with yarn under and smaller hook sizes and stuff, you always sort of still have some amount of holes. But the nice thing about the plush yarn is it really like fills in the gaps, and so it's much less likely. So I'm not sure about yarn under here. I did it just because that's what I've been doing lately, but I do wonder if I did yarn over, it probably would end up with a slightly bigger pillow, which I wouldn't hate. But I wonder if there would be a risk of having like slightly more sort of holes, and you can even see a little bit here. So I don't know, maybe some things to experiment with. But I'm so happy with how this came out, and I'm even already thinking about making another one. I want to try the Parfait Plush for sure, just to see like with the bigger yarn, how it comes out. And I'm also, my mind is going crazy thinking of all of the different possible colors for a pillow like this. Oh my gosh, so many possibilities that I think would be so fun. Like you could do a rainbow pillow where you go kind of all the way, rainbow colors all the way down along the sides. It doesn't have to be sort of reversible like this. You could do something more symmetrical, or again, make every little bit a different color. You could use like variegated yarns for especially the faces of the pillow, which I think would add some really fun like color details. There's just like so many possibilities. You could do any, I mean, yellow and blue is a good classic sort of star color combination, but you could go crazy with pinks and greens and purples, white and black. I don't even know. It's fun to think about all the different possibilities and how different it really would end up looking. Oh, one more thing I definitely want to mention is that the pattern itself has a smile face on it, a smiling face. It has eyes that are embroidered on, sewn on with black yarn, and little cheeks, and then a smiling mouth. And I really debated about doing it or not. But so far, I haven't added the face. Since it's not safety eyes and you're just doing sewing on, I could add them like at any point. And I really think it could go either way. Like I think having a cute smiling star is really fun and like kind of kawaii and like changes the vibes. But I actually kind of like it without the smiling face because I feel like it's more sort of structural and like almost a modern pillow that you could actually see, and like it has sort of that kid element. But I would put this on my couch, like my dark gray couch. This would be a perfect sort of accent pillow for it. But once you add the smiling face, it definitely sort of changes the vibes there. So I'm curious what you all think. Do you think it looks better without the face, or do you think I should think about adding the face? Which do you think would be better? And let me actually show you. So let me pull up what it looks like just so you can compare. Where is it here? Can you see that? That's what it looks like with the smiling face. So what do you think? I'm not sure. And while I have my phone out, I just want to talk very quickly about the way that I have been organizing my crochet patterns for myself and projects lately. So I'm also a coder, and I have been building this website called Stitch Haven. that I've been using now for pattern organization and project tracking, and it has counters. So I've been using the stitch and row counter here. There's info up here about the project itself with the link, and then there's a spot down here for notes. So I kind of have running notes as I go for what I'm finding about the pattern, and I can remind myself, oh, I didn't mention, like, it says that I used a 5mm crochet hook, so it's a good spot to note like the hook size that I use. So next time I can remember, what hook size and what yarn and all of that. But I have been using these stitch counters quite a lot. This one has a row counter and a stitch counter. And quite honestly, even for something really basic like a circle, where you're just like every round you're doing the repeat of like, 2 single crochet, increase, repeat all the way around. 3 single crochet, increase, repeat all the way around. It seems so straightforward, but especially with the plush yarn where it's a little bit harder to count up after the fact, I use this counter like basically the whole way through, both the row counter and the stitch counters, just sort of up as I was going, to really keep track very, very carefully. And I'm wondering, I wonder if at some point, as I get better, and maybe it'll be easier for me to go back and count, but I don't know. I sometimes I'm looking for sort of more like mindless crochet that I can just do while I'm like watching TV or whatever. But this still wasn't it, even though the circle is like such a straightforward thing, just because I needed to do the careful counting. So I do have the tool. It's called Stitch Haven. I probably will talk about it more in upcoming videos, but I will link it in the description box below if you do want to take a look and try it out for yourself. But yeah, I just it's so interesting to me that even with sort of the basics, as I've been now crocheting for a number of months, I still find myself really needing to do careful counting. And maybe that's true, in the long term as well. And maybe it really is the yarn. As long as you have an easy way to still count up and make sure you're doing the right thing, that seems fine. But when you have the more plush yarn, it was a little bit of a challenge for me. So cool, I've got the tools, so it's okay. It's just still not the most mindless. But I had such a good experience making this. Also, lately, what I've been working on mostly has been a couple of the patterns from the Hobie Amigurumi Advent Calendar for 2025 by Pika. So I've done 2 of them so far. I have videos on my channel, which I can link to, where I talk through those Pika patterns. They're my first 2 ever Pika patterns. I know a lot of people are very, very familiar with Pika out in the amigurumi world. Her patterns are awesome. They are so intricate, and I had such a good experience making them and really upping my skills, but they are not mindless at all, right? It's you really need to be very focused on what you're doing. I was learning a lot of new techniques. You're using much smaller, thinner yarn, so you have to be much more careful. It's very fiddly. There's a lot of moving pieces to them. And so I've had a really good experience making them, but I also felt my hands kind of wanting a break. And so it was fun to switch gears and go make something like this plush pillow and have sort of the soft yarn again. I love it so much. And just have a little bit of something a little bit easier. This one, again, easy-ish, but also still some interesting parts where I did some definitely upping of my skills to learn, especially the star points and the attaching and everything. But my hands just felt every time I do use this plush yarn, I just feel so happy and snug and cozy. So it was really nice to switch gears, although I still will go back and finish the other 2 Pika Advent Calendar patterns. They are super cool. It's just, there's so many different kinds of crochet out there. This is my very first pillow. It's so fun to be sort of trying out all these different things and ending up with these awesome things like this. This is an actual piece of decor that I could have in my house. And this is very much my vibes that I like, sort of a little bit kid-like, but perhaps not too much. And that's where I was thinking about the smiley face, yes or no. But so far I landed on no. So we will see. But anyway, I think that's it for today. It was so fun to talk through this awesome pattern with you all. And I will talk to you soon. So thank you so much for keeping me company, and I will see you next time. Bye.